I'd like to hear more about the Sundays at the beach. That's where.
Oh, yeah, collecting driftwood. Tell them about that.
Well, the idea was to get, the morning, would get to church and back, and then Graham would still have to fuss with meals and whatever. But then I could, whenever we had a break on Saturday or Sunday and I was around, I'd take as many volunteers as I could get to go down and walk on the beach. Because I'd take the dog.
The dachshunds, right?
Yeah, we had two.
And we'd think up things to do as we were going along, and we'd pick up sticks, and then I'd say, well, let's make a mobile, and
That's the one you.
Yeah.
It's the one in my office
Yeah,
now.
yeah, that one.
Yeah.
and you've got one in your house. I forget where it is now, but
It's in my office, my
Is
little
it?
office. Yeah, I love it.
and I wanted to learn how to make a mobile and do different things, and in winter time, in those days, we were still getting snow buildup and ice coming in, and that became treacherous to keep the three of them. Amy was no problem because she stayed away, but Liz was a problem. She and Craig would go out and want to explore how high they could get up on the mounds of ice and snow, and I kept thinking, one of these times I'm going to have to
gonna
go
fall
in that
down.
water
Yeah.
Right
and
through.
bring one of those little rascals out of the water.
Right. What should
but,
we get for them? What would they like?
It never,
When's
well,
When's dinner is not after an hour and a quarter.
Dad went to move the car, and then he was going to take you down looking for ping pong or other activities.
Yeah.
So he'll be back in a few minutes.
Do you want to wave on the video?
Yeah,
Get
because
between them and you can wave.
there we
Lydia
are,
and
okay.
Rebecca.
It's for us.
We're taping it. Grandma and Grandpa were in part 3.
we're telling them all about their childhood.
Cool. Or our
But those
growing.
were interesting experiences because they could play with adventure, but have someone there to sort of keep an eye on them. And when we used to take them up to the island in Canada, we worked the same way. That the two of them, Liz and Craig, would always get in the more dangerous situation.
Yeah.
Amy played it safe, and I always had to worry about them,
Yeah.
keep an eye
I
on them.
think I remember my mom telling me a story about her and Craig being chased by a pig or a cow or something in Canada. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I
Look at
don't.
their faces.
Uh-oh.
Nice job. Nice
I
job.
just got her in trouble.
We
Well,
were
it's
on
a little late
vacation.
now.
We were on vacation. Craig was about 8, which would mean I was a teenager, about 14.
So the video can pick it up.
Oh, sure. And we were on some kind of a vacation. I forget if it was a dude ranch in Colorado or something. And Craig and I went exploring one afternoon before dinner because we were really bored and we didn't want to read. And so we went exploring, and past where the horses were, there was more country, and there were these pigs. So I thought that was kind of cute. There were some pigs separated though. There was a mom and some little piglets, and they were.
Now do you remember this?
We didn't
No.
tell them.
No, I never knew.
So
But
I
if
thought,
I'd known, I would have said, no, don't go near that, Mother. She's not going to
Protective.
tolerate
and
anybody.
you know what? Grandma was right, because they weren't little piglets. They were more like this. So we weren't going to go pick them up or anything. But we got closer, and this pig didn't have good eyesight. But when she found us, we were about halfway through her pen. And she took after us, and she's a fat old thing, but boy, was she fast. So we took off like the dickens and climbed on the fence, and she smashed into, it was one of those split rails. She smashed into the fence, and by then we kind of flipped ourselves over.
Was she
so
okay?
The
Were
pig-
they okay? The pig was
The
fine.
pig was fine, except she was hopping mad. She was really mad. She was snorting. She was, and then she went back to look after her little piglets, and we decided we wouldn't go anywhere
Where
close.
was this?
I think it was at the Dude Ranch in Colorado on one of our vacations.
Oh,
Our
that was in
family vacation.
Arizona.
Arizona? Okay.
Oh, could have been in
Arizona.
Arizona.
That's where the hands who
And
took care of
that's
the
why
horses.
he gave Craig a tobacco to chew.
That's right.
What?
And
Same
he
thing.
swallowed it, and he was a dog for
Wait, what
days.
is swallow?
Chewing
tobacco.
The cowboys out there, cowpokes, chewed tobacco, and it's chewing tobacco is this slug of tobacco, right?
Plug.
A
Yeah,
plug.
they cut off a plug and they give him to chew. And after you chewed it for a little bit, it gets soft.
And he
And
spit
they,
it out.
they spit and they spit it out. Not Craig. He swallowed the darn thing.
Really nasty.
And he was so sick, I really was furious doing that to a little kid. He was about 10 or 11 years old.
Wait, who did that?
My
And-
brother, Craig.
At great expense, we'd taken him to a dude ranch.
Whose idea was that?
Yeah, because the girls liked riding, and Amy really was quite strong on it. And Craig was along for the ride. If the girls couldn't ride horseback, he could too. But he couldn't. He was sick for days. And as a result, he never had a problem about smoking. He just
Right.
never even got near it. But that was our first big trip together.
Mm.
And then the following year, went back to the travel agent, and that was the year we went to Portugal.
Oh, yeah.
And Dean's mother came along, and we went to Lisbon, and Craig loved that because the museum there of all the ships that had ever been copied or made models of, they had room after room after room of these things, because this was where the Prince of Portugal set out all the ships to go around Africa.
Mhm.
When the big trips from Portugal were all around Africa and off to the Far East, and it was so much faster to do it that way than to go overland the way Marco Polo did.
Yeah.
So that was great, and then we'd
And
go to
we stayed in
churches.
a hotel that didn't speak English.
Right,
And so
everything was,
we
Portuguese.
toughed it out trying to handle our,
it was fun, it was great
Yeah.
fun. And after a while, everybody got tired of churches and museums, and we went to a movie, and we saw Chitty Chitty Bang Bang with
English.
Portuguese subtitles.
Okay, but in English.
Yeah, so we could understand the movie,
Yeah.
couldn't read the subtitles.
Uh-huh.
And we had supper of hamburger or something like that at a drugstore. It was, but then we went on to Madeira
Mhm.
and slid down the mountain in sleds. They have
You get
sleds
in
that
these
go over the.
baskets.
Okay.
You
Go
sit
over
in a
cobblestones.
basket and they got a guy on the back end who will hop onto one of the skids under it and steer you down these stone paths.
Wow.
And you really gain
Oh,
some
what?
Is
speed.
it?
Go
Is
down.
this like an icy mountain or what is it?
Yeah.
No, it was
No, it's-
cobblestones.
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 And they
And
had
it's all, they're
special,
all worn smooth.
Mhm.
And you go down there like a shot.
Was it fun?
I was scared to death of it.
I can. Yeah, I can imagine.
We loved it.
They did.
We loved it. And tell Abby about the boats. Do you remember about the boats?
The
With the
museum.
eyes?
Oh.
Oh, yeah, all the fishermen come up on the sand. This is in the Algarve, which is south end of Portugal. And the fishermen go out at night and they have ice on their boats and they come back in. And the locals go down there to buy their fish for dinner, whatever it is. And the hotel people send their guys down there to get fish.
Fresh fish.
Wonderful fresh fish. Yeah. Great.
The castle's
And
very cool.
they went riding there too, and, what happened, they got lost.
We got lost.
And I was furious because the hotel was supposed to see that they got there and came back, and nobody helped them. And I fussed and fumed. And they said, "Don't worry, we don't have any crime around here," which was true then. They were pretty hard on criminals,
Mhm.
and it's a real top-down disciplinary kind of thing. And there was Germans running the hotel, and they were even more so. So. And they didn't have any crime.
Going all right?
Should there be a red light on?
It's blinking.
It's blinking.
Yeah,
there
see
it
it's
is.
going.
There's cups going by. Okay.
Yeah.
And what other trips do you remember, family trips? And you can tell
Well,
me
the
by
next
Canada.
one was Hawaii. A year later, this was spring vacation each year. And Grandma was supposed to come, not
Oh.
I, but Dean's mother. And there was a blizzard in Cleveland. We knew there was one coming.
We asked
and
her
we
to
said,
fly
"Come."
ahead of time,
Yeah, she wouldn't come.
and she wouldn't do
So we left her.
it. Stubborn damn woman. Boy, God, she's a
So she didn't get to go to Hawaii.
That's right.
That was her.
tough woman
And,
to deal
and
with.
we picked up a woman who was dying, but she was taking the last trip to Hawaii. And we had her as our substitute
We
grandma.
adopted her, and she
For,
adopted us.
Right, and we had her for a little while. And we went to the main
Oahu.
Oahu, and then we went to the fanciest dude ranch, whole way miles above what we saw in Arizona. And the cows on that ranch had the finest view you could imagine, seascape all around them. And they just go up the hill a little bit, and you could see all over the ocean and all over. And it was about a 2-hour drive to get there on a little 2-lane road with one waterfall after another and flowers and
Yeah.
and not a sign, not a gas station. There was nothing for miles.
And not a railing against the,
Well, it wasn't very
side of
high
the
though.
road.
Yeah, it wasn't very high though. It was right along the
I remember Grandma was a little nervous.
I was.
She would say, "Dean, move over closer."
Well, but then we got to this dude ranch and there was somebody famous who was there too.
Pat Boone.
Who's that?
Back in the 50s and 60s,
It was sort of
he was
family
a
singer.
crooner.
Oh, okay. So you got to meet him?
No, we didn't
No.
really meet him. You respected his privacy because
Okay.
he had his family, and they were having their vacation just as we were, and it was fine.
We'd get on the putting green at the same time and do nothing more than nod to one another.
And Amy decided she was going to get a tan. And
Oh, no.
way she was ever going to tan. And I think she got her lifetime lesson at that time. She got
Blisters and stuff.
well, pretty close to it.
Big
She-
time
she-
sunburn.
Right. But it was a good trip. We took a helicopter ride to see the edge of the island, and then we went to the big island and saw the mountain.
And the
Volcano.
beach
Volcano.
was black
Black
sand.
sand, yeah, I remember seeing
We went
that.
there too.
It was beautiful.
And Craig used to come back with his pants full of this black sand, and he'd have to shake them before you let him in the
Let 'em in the
house.
But it was a lovely spot. It was a very low-key, unglamorous kind of place. It was amazing. With, as I say, always the beach. We could go down there and they'd have big beach parties and cook a pig, and in the coals they'd dig a big pit. It was a good trip, I think. After that, I don't remember because that was about the last.
Yeah,
You were through.
I was a high schooler by then, and
Too cool for
I'm-
family vacations.
Exactly. Hard to admit, but it was true.
I think you were ready to go to college.
Yeah, that could be.
The next summer, you and your friend
Oh, that's right.
Cole went to
Molly.
Molly?
That was after senior year, before college started, we went down to Springfield, you're right, that's right.
We took her drove her down, and I cried all the way from Springfield back to Chicago. Just, I knew she was gone.
Yeah. This was a summer trip, or what was in Springfield?
A
A
job
job.
for me. I was working for the Illinois Information Service.
This was
Being a
summer
journalist.
after high school.
Yes. Yes, and my friend Molly and I were both on the high school newspaper.
Okay.
And we wanted an adventure before college, and so that's what we did. And one of our neighbors across the street, Fred Bird,
Right.
and his daughter Cricket Bird. What a
Cricket.
name. Her name was Cricket. But anyway, Fred helped get us these summer jobs.
Okay.
And yeah, we did, I don't know, we did reporting, news releases that went
In
out
Springfield.
in Springfield, Illinois. We biked to work every morning. We lived with this landlady, and it was pretty,
Felt very grown up.
I felt extremely grown up. And we had a friend down there who lived around there, and she lived in Mount Vernon, Illinois, and she'd take us out to her family place that had a pool. And so I really thought I was cool then. They had this great big kitchen.
Yeah. And Grandma was lonely.
No, I still had two at home, but it was sort of the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
And so, and Amy was giving me a lot of trouble during those years.
Mm-hmm.
I learned afterwards when we had a meeting up at the place where Mandy was, and there was a girl there whom Mandy knew, whose brother had committed suicide. And that was, the mother came and we had a long talk, and there were several meetings to try and help everybody talk through this thing. And one of the things I learned was that when there's one person in the family who has a big depression, it has an effect, well, I already knew it has an effect on everybody, but in particular, another sibling makes darn sure nobody's gonna attach that kind of a name to him.
Mm-hmm.
And so no matter how depressed or how troubled he might be, don't let on.
Yeah.
It was, and the same kind of thing. That's obviously what happened to Craig, because he had some depressions even back then, I think. But he wouldn't let on, and I didn't know, except that he just would say, no. Did you like something or other? No, okay. It just, he didn't have any enthusiasms about things that Liz did. And Amy had a huge effect on all of us. It was hard. I'm so proud of her. Now, she has come through all of that, and she got a lot of help, of course, which Craig did not. But she's learned how to handle it, and she's a positive person. She's happy. She called this morning. I sent some fruit down for her birthday. I couldn't cope with birthday presents and things, so that was one thing to do, and she just called to let me know that she'd gotten it. And I haven't heard about what happened to Jim or whether he's recovered or not. I should have asked her, but maybe she doesn't know. I'm not sure she knows. But she's okay, and she knows how to deal with this problem so that she gets the kind of medication for a couple of weeks and then she's fine again. And you don't have the whole thing just diving off a cliff, just huge. What's happening over there?
They were
They're
about to
going
go
to
down
Hong
and
Oh,
I'm gonna take a quick break to pee.
okay,
I'll do the same thing.
Oh,
okay.
we lost Abby?
I'm gonna,
I'm just going to
No,
Oh, that's okay. Should we pause it?
yes, let's.